Hey everyone, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. I'm a little bit biased in this video, so fair warning, I am a fan of Doxa, and I have the new Doxa Army Bronze bezel here on the desk with every strap option from the company. And this is great because I like divers. I really like retro designs. I like faithful reissues, and I like off the beaten path watches that might be unexpected or a little bit quirky. So this brand and this model specifically is just right up my alley. And so yes, I'm a little bit biased for sure, but I'll be objective. We'll talk about the good, yes, but we'll also talk about the bad. And this is not a sponsored video. I don't, I'm not borrowing from Doxa. I'm actually borrowing from a friend of mine here in Utah who has an excellent watch Instagram page. I met him at a local collector meetup, and we have similar tastes. So check out Wrist Shots on Instagram, link in the description. That being said, let's delve into this faithful reissue that carries a few twists that I think make it a little bit extra fun. And that's always a good thing as a watch collector. So this one will have a loomed ceramic bezel insert, which is dark green. It's a kind of an olive color, very militaristic, and works well with the muted tan of the dial. It works well with the orange of the hand stack, right? I think a Doxa hands orange, it's like peanut butter and jelly. You have to get a diver with orange hands from Doxa. Very, very nice with the overall color scheme and how it looks, but it's not as faithful to the original Doxa Army that came out over 50 years ago. That one was oxidized. It was dipped. This was before DLC. This was before PVD really took off and got a little bit better. And that color would wear off over time. And so this version, it kind of looks like an original, but maybe after a few years of use, after the color has completely been worn from the case. So yeah, it is faithful, but with a few different twists. And if you like the original look, you can opt for this with a black bezel insert. You can get a stainless steel bezel that is not bronze like this one is, that will patina over time. And if you're really looking for the original look, there was a limited edition that came out and has sold out, so you'll have to buy it on the secondary market. But that one is done in ceramic, so it is black and very faithful to the look of a brand new Army from about 50 years ago. Now, continuing, I really like the fit. It is thinner than a 1200, which I've owned and reviewed. And I think it's deceptive, it's quirky, it's kind of weird to describe, but it's just the perfect universal sized diver. Let me explain. 42.5 sounds big, especially if you prefer smaller watches or maybe you have smaller wrists, but it doesn't wear big. It has a 44.6 millimeter lug to lug dimension, and the height is only 12.2. So it wears comfortably, but it's still substantive. So if you have larger wrists, you'll like it. I have 7.25 inch wrists. I really like the way this looks. But if you have smaller wrists, it's not too big. It's not too cumbersome. It's totally wearable. So it's like the universal diver. It's funky. It's, again, the design came from the 1960s. It might be an acquired taste, but once you acquire the taste, it is so much fun. It's a great fit. So I like the fit. I like the fact that it's thinner than a 1200, and I don't need all of that water resistance. Technically, if I start scuba diving, I'm likely never going deeper than 30 meters. This has 300 meters. It has a signed thread down style crown, and it does have the iconic helium release valve at the 9 o'clock position. Now let's talk about the different strap options. I know some of you are huge strap fans, and I definitely get that. I think the best one, just from a design perspective, has to be the bracelet. Doxa with grains of rice or beads of rice, they just go together perfectly. If you buy a Doxa diver, you have to try it on the grains of rice at some point, but this looks excellent on the fitted FKM rubber strap that is texturized. So there is a granular texture on the top. On the reverse, there's a wave pattern. And I think the green brings out the green hues of the bezel nicely. So that's a good thing. Now you will have to cut this strap to fit, which I know some watch collectors aren't a fan of. I don't mind it myself. I think, it just tailors it to you. But yes, you will need to cut it to fit. And the last option is a NATO strap. Now, if you buy this on rubber or you buy it on bracelet, and there's only a $40 difference between the two in retail price, both versions would come with a NATO strap that is camo. And it has very substantive hardware, thicker, heavier, it's milled. And generally, I don't like NATO straps. I think they are just too tall on wrist. But this one just looks so good on the camo with the color scheme and everything. And given the fact that the case is thin, it doesn't feel too tall on wrist. So I've actually been wearing this the most on the NATO strap. So that's kind of nice to see. Let's talk about the movement. Within the case is an ETA 2824, so not a Sellita. It's not a chronometer. It doesn't have the best power reserve, but it is it's a respected movement. You could say that this is tried and true. It's easy to get parts for. Any watchmaker could do a simple service on this. So for the retail price of $2,250 on the fitted rubber or $2,290 on the grains of rice, I think this movement selection it's a very positive thing. Now, that all being said, let's talk about the things that I dislike. And I might be a little bit negative, and you might not agree with me, but I'm not a fan of the Yeni fish logo. It's found on the crown, it's found on the buckle, it's found in the clasps, it's even found on the reverse of the fitted FKM green rubber strap, and I just don't like it personally. I think the watch could be better with some Doxa branding and not the Yeni fish logo. Now, you might not agree with that, but I know a lot of you will disagree with me here. But I don't like the new clasps. They do have a micro extension system. That's nice to see. They are milled. They are substantive, but they're too substantive just for my preferences. They're too thick. They're too hefty. They're too wide. And they have that fish logo on them. So I will be in the minority here, but I like the old clasps. Those were milled. Yes, you did need to use a tool to set the micro adjustment, but I just felt like those ones were more comfortable just from personal experience. So those are my two dislikes. On the whole, I like the specs here. I love the design. The bezel is nice and tight, no backplay. The loom is satisfying. This just has a muted look that is awesome, whether you're using this on a strap or the bracelet or the NATO strap. I think it's a well-rounded watch that, yes, acquired taste, but a very tasty taste once you acquire, the desire there. So let's just end with showing you what the watch comes in. It is a hard shell. It's camo, which is really nice, and a nod to the original camo fabric pouches that the Doxa Army originally came in. So just kind of a nice setup here. I'll leave a link to Doxa's website if you're interested in taking a look at the different colors, the different bezels, the different strap options. And then I'll also leave a link to my buddy's Instagram. Wrist shots, nice photography, really great watches, really good guy. So give him a follow. Thank you for watching today. Reach out with questions, reach out with comments. I'm excited to engage with you in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time.